Bears at Jacksonville. And now, actually, the Bears... the Bears. I love the Bears so much. I could go on a whole tangent about the Bears. And I'm begging you, please, as a Saints fan, please let go of Mitchell Trubisky because he's looked good. Sean Payton gets his hands on him. I was thinking we were going in a dark area where we're like, 7-9 every year. Sean Payton could get his hands on Mitchell Trubisky. I'm telling you, we'd be great. We'd be great for years to come. Do you know why? Because Mitchell Trubisky's talents are being wasted. Now, everyone says Deshaun Watson's talents are being wasted in Houston, and that is true. But it was just for this 1 year. I mean, yeah. Problem is, in Houston, it seems like there's no way out. Defense is just so abysmal, and they don't have a first-round pick this year. They have to fix that defense. Free agency, there's going to be some good free agent defensive players. Just get them. But Chicago's a really good team this year. And honestly, since Mitchell Trubisky's come back, other than the Packers game, which he threw an ugly game, and I thought, man, is Trubisky bad? I thought he was good. And then you know what? I might have to I swear, I've watched enough football to know. And Bears fans should know this, but they don't. They don't realize that Nagy is the problem, not the solution. Trubisky is the solution. If you watch him play, if you really watch him play, and you watch the past few games where they devise an actual system around him, a system that uses his talents as a quarterback, he thrives. He's a good quarterback in that situation. But then you have Nagy. Nagy was just like, I'm going to call plays for Nick Foles. Well, Trubisky's not Nick Foles, so he failed, which is why when Nick Foles immediately came in, he had success. But then you know what happened? He figured out how to defensively strategize around that strategy. And then Nagy's like, okay, we'll put in Trubisky, only because Foles got hurt. Trust me, if Foles wasn't injured, they probably would have stuck with Foles until they never won another game. They've probably had a 5-12 season, 5-11 season. They'd be drafting a new quarterback. But now they're sitting at 7-7. And do you know why? It's because Trubisky came in, and he said, you know what? I'm going to try to get this team to the playoffs. And he's doing a great job. David Montgomery's been playing so well as well. Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. By the way, Darnell Mooney is just such a talented receiver that I didn't expect to be that good coming out of college, but there's just so many good wide receivers. Some of them got pushed under the rug, and Darnell Mooney did not deserve to be pushed under the rug because he has been great with the Bears. I honestly think this is a good team, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though. I think there's going to be one team in the AFC and the NFC. I think the Bears will deserve to make the playoffs, and I think the Dolphins or the Ravens, whoever doesn't make it, will deserve to make the playoffs, which sucks. But I think I think it's true. I think one of those teams is going to miss out. I think the Bears are going to miss out, and which sucks because I really like the Bears. I really wanted them to make it this year. Now, Bears fans, Bears organization, I beg of you, stick with Trubisky, because you saw what happens when you put a good offensive coordinator or fire Nagy. Just get Nagy out, bring in someone new. Eric Bieniemy, for instance. Eric Bieniemy knows how to go around a quarterback. He did it with Alex Smith, and he's doing it with Patrick Mahomes. He can do it with Mitchell Trubisky. Bring in him as head coach, right? And then let Mitchell Trubisky do his thing. Because I think you guys have a significant shot at winning the NFC North next year. If you do that. If you let Mitchell Trubisky play to his strength, he will win games. I guarantee it for you. And if you don't, just let Mitchell Trubisky go on free agency, and Saints will pick him up, and we'll make him a great quarterback, and you guys can be stuck with someone else that sucks. But I'd recommend keeping Trubisky. It's just a smart thing to do if you're the Bears. By the way, the Bears are 100% going to be Jacksonville. There are some... By the way, I'd like to talk about Jacksonville for a little bit. Trevor Lawrence is thanking God. Thank you, God, says Trevor Lawrence, that I am not going to be on the Jets. Sorry, Pup. I think this could not have worked out perfectly because Trevor Lawrence was not the right quarterback for the Jets. He would have gotten killed with the Jets. He's not mobile enough to be with the Jets. Honestly, he would have died. I think someone would have killed him. You know how Joe Burrow had that offensive line? Joe Burrow's mobile, but he's not Deshaun Watson level mobile, which is why Deshaun Watson hasn't really suffered one of those injuries in the NFL yet. It's because Watson's really mobile. Like, he is really, really mobile. He reminds me a lot of Fields. Fields reminds me a lot of Watson, right? Which is why I think he would. I think the Jets winning actually worked out in their favor because Trevor Lawrence would die there. He would legitimately tear his ACL, MCL. He's under constant pressure because the offensive line is just absolute utter garbage, right? Trevor Lawrence actually fits in really well with Jacksonville because their offensive line isn't horrible. And if you put a little bit of work into it, they can have a good offensive line. And then if you look at the skill positions around it, you have James Robinson, obviously, guy snuffed from the Pro Bowl. But then also, if you look at it, you have players like DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault Jr., Colin Johnson, Keelan Cole, Chris Conley. Like, all these guys are solid receivers. My favorite, my opinion, something that I'm really excited to see what Trevor Lawrence would do with him is if they can throw it to his name slipped my mind. Laviska Shenault. How did I forget that? He was one of my top top receivers coming out of the draft. He hasn't had an opportunity to shine yet because he's in Jacksonville, right? But dang, I swear, when he gets his opportunity, trust me, he will shine along with DJ Chark. Colin Johnson's also been a pleasant surprise. He did not do that much at Texas, but obviously his skills are translating well into the NFL. Very good receiver. I'm excited to see what Trevor Lawrence does with that team next year. Obviously, that defense needs to be fixed, which is why I think they're 2 years away. But once they get that defense fixed, dang, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will have a serious playoff contender on their hands. I think the Bears will obviously win this one. They're just a much better football team right now, though.